You do if love gets sour? You guys, this question is connected with the issue of permanent resident or any kind of residence that you have that brought you to Sweden. I'm going to be talking about Sweden since I live in Sweden, or any other European country as well, because they have similar rules. Now let's assume that you came to Sweden through, love, that you found love and you found somebody that live in Sweden. Either the person have a permanent resident or the person is a Swedish citizen, and they brought you here either through marriage, or because in Sweden you don't necessarily have to get married, but they have to check that your relationship is a strong relationship. It's not based on paperwork. So what happens should, example, on the long run, before you things that goes wrong, maybe you just, basically most of the time if you come, they could either give you 2 years resident or 1 year residence permit. So it depends with case, but basically it's normally 1 year, 2 years. Now a lot of people have faced difficulties when maybe love gets sour, the relationship is no longer working, and they are confused. What are they going to do? Are their permanent resident at stake? Yes, a lot of people actually had those problems, and some of them, they lost their permanent resident, they lost their residency because they didn't know what to do. They did not have plan B, or they did not have any evidence to show that really the relationship was bad, there was abuse and all those things. So what if you read in the Swedish Migration Agency is that if you are in a relationship and the relationship ends, then one of the partners have to call the migration agency and tell them about it, right? Was saying, I got distracted, is that in case there is any problem with the relationship ends, the Swedish Migration Agency expects one of you to come and tell them about it. And this could mean maybe the partner who is a dependent now that was brought into the country, they have to consider whether she should stay or go back home or whatever it is. So I just want to clarify some certain issues. The Swedish Migration Agency is not out there to just throw you out, without following up what really happened and checking really, 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 really what is the problem. What they want to know is that what happened. So that is why if anything is happening, in case of any abuse or any sort of something that is happening, you have to go to the right agencies and tell them about it, and also tell the migration agency. But all these things, you cannot just use your mouth to be talking. You need evidence, you need pictures, you need videos, you need documents, voice records, anything that can show that really there's an abuse, you cannot stay in this relationship and you need protection. Then they will look at those things and they will now make a decision. Yes, I know of very many cases, even people with kids, married people that has maybe their husband brought them from Africa, and it takes time before you get your permanent resident, or even if before you get your permanent residence, and it takes time. So they cannot just throw you out and say, oh, the relationship has ended, oh, you have to go back home. No, they have to check what is the problem. How can we weigh all these things? Do these people really need to stay here? Do they need protection from us? So that is the problem, that people don't have evidence. They don't have anything to back up whatever that has been happening, because they're gonna do investigation. You cannot just say, oh, my relationship has ended and that is it. No, it's not done that way. So, and then another thing is that one of the things that I always tell people is that when you have this spouse visa, you never know tomorrow, and everybody understand things can get sour, relationship can get sour. So what is your next plan? Are you looking for a job? Are you really working? So that if this thing happened, that you can able to stand on your own, you can actually apply or what do you call it, like when you went to extend your permit, when that time comes and you don't have the spouse again, are you able to take care of yourself? Because one of the things that the Swedish Migration Agency, or even Swedish as itself, doesn't like is that people will come here and become liabilities. No, they want that people will work and take care of yourself. They don't have problems. They they're gonna settle you. And like I'm saying, when I mentioned that point that they don't want the liability, that they want people are working, I know they have also asked people who are working to go back home, and they have the reasons as to why. And I don't want to go to that, to those reasons. I don't want. This is not why I'm doing this video. This video is basically based on when love gets sour, what should you do, and what are the major reasons that maybe your permanent resident could be, rejected or maybe cancelled or something like that. So you need to always have a plan B, and you work hard and be able to stand on your own should in case these things happen. And one of the reasons why you have to be really careful when it comes to the issue of relationship, because people have been playing games, people have been using relationship. Maybe the relationship was not genuine. If it's not genuine and they make the investigation that this relationship was not even genuine, then unfortunately you're gonna lose your resident permit, and they're gonna, even if it was permanent, they're gonna ask you to go back home to your country, because they consider you are not honest, and that means you manipulated the system, which is a very serious offense. These things have happened, these things are happening, so it's not something new, and that's why I felt like bringing it out. So if you know that love has gotten sour, the relationship is no longer working, you need to do the right thing. You need evidence. You need to report to somewhere. You need a backup plan. Maybe you have even called police. Maybe somebody is trying to abuse you, to even if it's not physically. Abuses come in different way. You just have to have an evidence, because these things, they are going to do thorough investigation, and they are going to decide whether or not. So don't be scared, because a lot of people are scared and they don't know what to do, and they don't know who to run to. Like, run to the right people. And sometimes I think you can listen to people but make your own decision. Don't go asking for people that will now even put more fire into the situation that you are already facing. So what I mean is that have your own evidence, any documents and anything. And if you, for example, you have children, who has the custody? Are you sharing 50-50 custody, or is the custody with one of the partners? These are the things that people don't even know, that if the kids are actually with one parent, why? Like, you should know, because you can also use your child to stay, you know because that child, the father is a resident here, so there is no way they're gonna ask the child to go, and when the father is a resident here. But what if you don't have the custody of the children? So these are the things that you should really know. You should really do your own investigation, so that you don't fall out a victim. So I hope this video helps you. And if you have any question, let me know at the comment section. I'll be gladly be ready to answer you guys. So you guys, see you in my next video. Ciao.